A dramatic and highly symbolic scene is unfolding in Kebbi State, and it has instantly reignited national conversations about power, accountability, and justice in Nigeria. Just when many thought the era of high-profile political drama was slowing down, events in Birnin Kebbi have proved otherwise. What residents and social media users are witnessing is not speculation, not rumor, and not political gossip. It is a full-blown security operation that has transformed what should be a hospitality hub into something resembling a military outpost. As of Sunday, December 21st, 2025, the Nigerian Police Force has officially taken over two major properties linked to a former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami. The properties, widely known under the Aspena or Asbear brand, are among the most prominent structures in Kebbi State. Videos circulating online show a heavy security presence at the entrances, at least 5 police patrol vans and an Armoured Personnel Carrier, APC, stationed strategically. The message is unmistakable. This is not routine policing. This is a decisive show of force. Eyewitness footage shared across social media platforms, especially X, confirms that access to the facilities has been restricted. Staff movements are monitored, visitors are turned back, and armed operatives are fully in control. For many Nigerians watching from afar, the images are jarring. You do not deploy an APC to a hotel unless the state considers the situation extremely serious. This takeover marks the most visible escalation so far between Malami and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. For weeks, signs had pointed in this direction. Toward the end of November, reports emerged that the former Justice Minister had been invited for questioning. Days later, there were claims of detention. Now, the story has moved beyond interrogation rooms into physical seizure of assets. According to investigators, this operation is tied to an ongoing probe into alleged money laundering, abuse of office, and unexplained wealth. At the center of the controversy is a complex web of financial transactions, including a disputed $16.9 million payment approved as legal fees for the recovery of funds looted by the late military ruler Sani Abacha. The EFCC's position is that the legal work had already been substantially completed, making the payment unnecessary. Critics argue that the transaction exemplifies how public funds were allegedly siphoned under the guise of legal services. But the allegations do not stop there. Multiple petitions have reportedly been filed by civil society groups, including the Human and Environmental Development Agenda, HEDA. These petitions question how a public officer could acquire an expansive portfolio of assets allegedly worth billions of naira. Among the properties listed are the Asbia Hotel, Asbia Arena, Rahan Rice Mill, and even a private university. Petitioners argue that the scale of these investments far exceeds Malami's legitimate earnings as a lawyer and government official. The police takeover of the hotel appears to be a strategic move to preserve assets and secure potential evidence as the investigation reaches a critical stage. Whether this leads to temporary forfeiture, permanent confiscation, or prolonged litigation remains to be seen. Unsurprisingly, the development has triggered intense reactions across Nigeria, particularly on X, where opinions are sharply divided. For some Nigerians, the scene unfolding in Kebbi feels like poetic justice. One user wrote, "What goes around comes around. That's the irony of life. When karma finally catches up with people, I don't interfere. Stepping in would just mean I'd end up sharing in karma's swift justice one way or the other." This sentiment echoes a broader belief that former power brokers are finally facing consequences long deferred. Others, however, are raising serious concerns about due process. Another reaction questioned the legality of the takeover, asking, has he been found guilty of the allegations by a court of competent jurisdiction? Why take over his property without due process of law? This reflects a fear that law enforcement may be overstepping constitutional boundaries, especially when dealing with politically exposed persons. A third group occupies the middle ground, calling for patience rather than passion. One post read, "If after investigation he is found guilty, the hotel should be confiscated." For these Nigerians, accountability is essential, but it must follow the rule of law, not public anger.
Still, there are those who say the signs were always there. One user recalled seeing the hotel years ago and wrote, "I knew this would happen one day when I saw that building some years ago." The Attorney General thought Buhari's reign was everlasting. This comment reflects a long-held suspicion among citizens that some officials behaved as though political power would shield them indefinitely. On the more extreme end of public reaction, one post left little room for nuance. "Let's go. Let them confiscate everything. The man na criminal. Next up is the ex-CEO of NMDPRA." This kind of reaction underscores the depth of public frustration with corruption and perceived impunity among political elites. Meanwhile, the political undertones of the case are impossible to ignore. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar weighed in, suggesting that the investigation is selective. He claimed that if Malami had defected to the ruling APC, the EFCC would have ignored the allegations, even if he had looted the entire CBN vault. His statement has added fuel to the argument that anti-corruption efforts in Nigeria are often influenced by political alignment rather than pure justice. Supporters of Malami have seized on this narrative, describing the operation as a witch hunt driven by local and national political rivalries. A known loyalist of the former president, Imran Mohammed, shared videos of the siege on X, calling for public sympathy and alleging persecution. Malami himself has consistently denied all allegations, insisting that the EFCC's actions are meant to intimidate him and tarnish his reputation.
Despite these claims, the EFCC appears unmoved. Court documents filed at the Federal High Court in Abuja reportedly seek the remand of Malami and some of his associates. The Commission's strategy is familiar: freeze assets, secure properties, and tighten legal pressure while building a comprehensive case. The irony of the moment is not lost on Nigerians. For 8 years, Malami was widely regarded as one of the most powerful ministers in the Buhari administration, a man who oversaw the justice system and advised on prosecutions. Today, his properties are surrounded by the very security agencies that once answered to his office. It is a dramatic reversal that raises uncomfortable questions about the system he helped run. Asbir Hotel and Asbir Arena are not just buildings. They are landmarks in Birnin Kebbi, symbols of wealth, influence, and permanence. Taking them over sends a clear message. It disrupts business, isolates associates, and publicly humiliates the owner. In Nigeria's political playbook, asset seizure is as much psychological as it is legal. There is also the role of whistleblowers and petition writers. The fact that multiple petitions triggered this investigation suggests that grievances were quietly documented over time. Once Malami left office, those documents resurfaced. It is a reminder that power is temporary and records have long memories.
Critics like Joseph Ono, a former spokesperson for the Southeast, have openly challenged Malami to stop accusing the EFCC of blackmail and instead face the allegations head-on. Ono accused him of hypocrisy, pointing out how ruthlessly power was exercised during his tenure. As police vans remain stationed outside the hotel in Birnin Kebbi, Nigerians are left watching and waiting. Will formal charges follow swiftly? Will the courts uphold the seizures? Or will Malami's legal team secure relief? As a senior advocate of Nigeria, he knows the law well, but confronting the full weight of the state is a different battle entirely. One thing is certain: this story is only beginning. The takeover of the hotel is merely the opening scene in what promises to be a long, complex legal and political drama. And as Nigerians continue to debate fairness, justice, and vendetta, the outcome of this case may set a powerful precedent for how the country treats its former power holders in the years ahead.